Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus pilot, and today we are going to return to fly the Fenix Airbuses, namely the A321 IAE with the classic wingtip fences. We are going to fly the British Airways Flight 552 from InnyBuild's latest updated London Heathrow over to MK Studios' wonderful Rome Fiumicino airport. Really looking forward to this one, since we haven't flown the Fenixes in a little while, so I'd say we are just going to head up those stairs and, well, little GSX bug here, we need to kind of walk in. Need to walk a little bit left and right to be able to get up those stairs, and well, here we are, right back in that Fenix. So let's open up that flight deck door and take a seat, and then we can get ready for our preliminary cockpit preparation. So starting with a couple of basic features over here: engine master levers off, start selector norm, the landing gear lever is down, the wipers are off. Batteries have more than 25.5 volts on either side, and then we can continue by turning on the batteries, as well as the external power to get our plane to live. Alright then, so let's go ahead and give the plane a little while to start powering up, and while it's doing that, we will head over into the electronic flight bag to have a look at our flight plan. So we are going to tap to import over here, then we can head over into the flight plan section and start with the weather charts. So this is what today's route looks like, leaving London to the south across Paris, across Genoa, Elba, and then into Rome. A little bit of low-level weather, but looking at the upper-level chart, we do have that number 2 with some turbulence from the Mediterranean coast onwards. So the first like 2/3 of the flight will be good. The last third might have a little bit of turbulence there. Now going into the airport weather, London Heathrow, well, we'll see probably runway 27 in use, maybe runway 09. Rome Fiumicino has a couple of lovely gusts which are coming almost straight across, and some light rain, so we'll have to see whether we are actually within the crosswind limits of the aircraft, or maybe not. If we have to divert, then Napoli is going to be our alternate, and the weather forecast in Napoli is down the runway at 30 knots, with a possibility for some temporary thunderstorms. Now, we do also have Pisa available as alternate up here, which has, well, better weather at our estimated time of arrival, and Olbia is also thundery, so overall not those very good weather conditions. Looking into the flight plan then, departing at 09:15, we are scheduled to arrive at 11:50, and we are not critical with any of our weights, which is good, because we will definitely be taking some extra fuel for those weather conditions. Now, looking down into the fuel section then, 9.4 plus taxi is our scheduled block fuel. We are going to take some extra, and I want about half an hour on top. So half an hour equals 1,200 kilos plus what it takes to carry those, so 1,400 kilos extra. So doing some mathematics here, we got 9.4 plus taxi, we can round that 9.6. So let's make that 11 tons of fuel. Alright then, back into the Fenix app, mass and balance, and for the fuel we will change that to 11 tons. Apply and load, and we will be using GSX for everything over here, please. Alright, so that stuff's done. Our aircraft has started up in the meantime, so let's go ahead and go right down. RMP, well, we wanna listen transmit to VHF 1, 2 and the interphone at the moment. I'm just going to leave 1228 for the time being. Then we can head up to the APU fire test, which is looking good, and then we can start that APU. It's not all that warm outside today, so I do want to get that APU going. Master switch on, APU start switch on, and here we go. Alright then, IRAD mode selectors 1, 2, 3, all going into nav. Cockpit lights, well, yeah, let's just turn them up a little bit, because, well, it's not all that bright up here. Alright, here we go, that's looking good. So then, ACARS, let's go down to the ATSU, and I will be using my WinWing gear to handle those today. So flight init, we can initialize the data request down here, to get that stuff going, and then we can also go ahead and just go for an ATIS request, and we are looking for network. Only VATSIM, and okay, still no support for the same tensions ATIS. Well, that is unfortunate, but then we'll have to live without it. In any case, Lima India Romeo Fox, no, actually Echo Golf Lima Lima is what we're looking for, and we want a departure ATIS. Let's just send that, and at the same time I will also go for the latest weather down here so that we have it for our performance calculations. Alright, cool. So that stuff is sent. Then let's also have a look on the aircraft status screen. A321-200 V2500 engine, nav database is up to date. And finally those crash pad messages are checked, init, request. And that's it for the time being. Then we can move over to our aircraft acceptance. The recall is looking good. There is nothing in the logbook. It's an A321-200 with IAE engines. We got no OEBs and no defects, so our aircraft is accepted for the flight. Then let's go ahead and do our preliminary performance down here. So Heathrow 27 left, dry, synchronize the preliminary load sheet, but let's actually go ahead and check if that is accurate. So ATSU, AOC menu, received messages. Let's see, ATIS. No data available, that's fine. Weather data is kinda what we have expected. QNH is 90905. Like that, and like that. Why are they synchronized? You're not supposed to be synchronized. Sim settings, where is it? Controls, I think? Yeah, EFIS Baro, link left and right. That's what we're looking for. Alright, cool. So, with that our weather is checked, then let's go ahead and do some mathematics over here. So, Heathrow 27 left, packs off, anti-ice off, and that's all looking good. Intersections, we can take November 3. Flaps 257, speed's looking good, takeoff performance limit is 97.2. Alright, then let's move down into the ECAM. Oxygen is checked, hydraulic quantities are good, engine oil quantities are good, flaps are up, and that agrees with the levers, spoilers are retracted, and that's all looking good. Then we can just release that park and brake, and test the alternate brakes, which are looking good, and park and brake is set again. Quick look at the wheel page. Yeah, brakes are cold, so that is nothing to be worried about. Alright, good. So overall, this is looking quite good. Our aircraft is ready for service. Looks like they are just catering the plane over here as well. Okay, and while all of that is going on, let's go ahead and turn those things on. Let's also get the APU bleed going and turn on some lights, and then we can head out for the walk around. So do follow me. Ooh, frame rate just really went down a bit. This is better again. Alright, so starting our walk around in the very front over here, where we got our pitos are checked, static port is checked, everything else is looking good, and quite the cramped gate over here. Alright, looks like the airplane has not been bent by any of my previous landings on it, that's good. So, static port is checked, pitot tube is checked, nose wheel, let's have a look, make sure that everything is fine over here, and that is indeed all looking good. Alright, so static ports over here checked and not obstructed, AOA vane is also checked, then we can move a little bit further to the back and get to the engine. Inlet is looking good, no damages to any of the fan blades and stuff. Okay, the hatches of the engine are closed, and over here everything is looking good. Engine exhaust is perfect as well. Then let's have a quick look at the fuel gauge here. They've pre-selected 11 tons, and that is indeed what we are looking for. Alright, then we can continue that walk around along the leading edge of our wing. And this is all good. Nav light is green and working. Trailing edge, checking for any signs of bird strike damage, anything. But this is all looking fantastic. Getting to the landing gear then, and here we first of all do have, well, the breakaway indicator pins are rather worn down, but they are still going to be fine for a week or so, the way they are looking right now. Up here everything's looking good, no signs of damages, no birds sticking out anywhere. And let's try not to get run over by those arriving containers. Looks like boarding has just started as well. Beautiful. So outlet valve's looking good, or outflow valve, that's the word I've been looking for. Alright, tail section is looking good. We are looking for one white light, that's also looking good. And here we go, then let's... interesting way for them to attach the stairs, and they broke our aft door as well. See, that's why we're doing a walk around. Now we're going back home. Alright. So on this side we are looking for the same stuff that we've already checked on the other side. Condition of the tires, anything, any signs of birds sticking in any of those pipes. Just the standard type of stuff. Alright, red navigation light and one of them illuminated just like it should. Over here everything's good, then let's check the engine. And the bottom as well, latch is closed, so we are not going to get spectacular on the takeoff. Alright. So all of this stuff is looking good. The airplane seems to be in a good shape, including the AOA vane up there and the static ports down here. And with that we've completed our walk around, so let's get right back in as the second bus is already arriving. And yeah, look at that. You can kind of only walk up here when you're going a little bit left and right. Okay, hi there. And then let's get back into that flight deck and take a seat again to prepare the rest of our aircraft. By the way, huge no-no, never on the slides on the ground until the command is given. Never do that, never. Alright, so that stuff's done, then let's go ahead and start working our standard pre-flight procedure down here. Refueling, how's that going? 9 tons, so still need to uplift another 2,000. Okay, batteries off and on again. Then let's have a look at the elect page down here, and we can see that the batteries are charging by looking at the amps up here, and those will be dropping again in a few moments. Yeah, they should be dropping a little bit quicker than that. But okay, we'll just leave that for the time being. Alright, fuel pumps are going to stay off since we're still fueling the plane. Fire tests, number 1 is looking good, number 2 is looking good. On the right hand side everything is set, and the PAs are getting recorded over here. After overhead panel and circuit breakers are all checked and in, then we can move down here. Standby horizon. Here we go, and for the time 28th of January is the day I'm recording this, that's correct. Frequencies, yeah, I suppose we have to do them eventually, so why not do them now? Alright, charts, Heathrow, and we can just get the ground chart over here. So, Heathrow delivery 121.908, and ground, so many of them, probably 121.905, I don't really know. So 121.8 and 121.905. Alright, nice. VHF2 121.5 is... Why does it change my standby frequency when I'm going to another radio? It shouldn't do that. That's a bug. Right, 121.905. So the weather radar down here is all checked. Middle side is checked, right side is checked. Then we can go ahead and start our FMS setup. For that, let's go ahead and get up our flight plan over here. It would be so nice if we could just put the EFB down here. But okay, here we go. So let's start on the init page. We're going from Heathrow to Rome, and we are the Speedbird 552 Foxtrot. Like that. Alternate Naples, we'll keep it for the time being, but we might have to change it in flight. Costa X20, flight level 350, and we are departing Heathrow's runway 27 left on the Maxit 1 Golf departure. Insert that. We'll cross-check the SID later on, and for the arrival we are going for Rome. 16 left, ILS Whiskey I believe, and we've got the ECLAB 3 Alpha arrival. Do we need any of those vias? I think we do, and I think it is Exama, but let's check. No, Subak. Alright, so insert that stuff. Now let's go ahead and go into the secondary. We need LHRX3, and that's based on Heathrow 27 left slash. Alright, it helps if you spell that correctly. Let's see what the runway track is. 268. And 25 miles straight ahead. PBD point store. And this should automatically have been inserted in here. That's still work in progress in the Phoenix. Alright, and 268 right hand turns. That's all looking good. And immediate return back to Heathrow for an ILS approach to runway 27 right. Alright, so far so good. Then let's go ahead and insert that stuff into the fix info page to draw the extended center line. Like that. Alright, so in it, next page, let's see, we are planned at 65.7 tons. We don't know a CG yet, block fuel 11. And for our fuel figures, we got a contingency of 0.4, alternate 1.9, and final reserves 1.2. Like that, giving us 46 minutes extra. However, let's quickly enter the winds. Average 11 knot headwind. Like that. Well, still 46 minutes. 42 now. Good enough. Okay, flaps 2, 57 degrees. And that gives us takeoff speeds of 150, 157, 157. Like that. Noise abatement procedure number 2 is in here. It's an A320 family, so we can't pre-select any climb derates to Heathrow 27 left, and that's it. Alright, cool. So with all that stuff in, we just gotta cross-check our standard instrument departure. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Straight at 268 until intercepting radial 239 outbound from Heathrow to 5.5 DME, London. And that's gotta be the Foxtrot point, that looks okay. Then it's a left-hand turn, 7.7 DME London above 3000, 9.3 DME above 4000, and we got all of those. On towards 12 DME, and then a right-hand turn to max it at 6000. That's all looking good. Alright, perfect. 6000 is the first altitude restriction, so let's put that up here. 6.1 until the clearance is received, and that's it. Okay, cool. So, nav accuracy updated, GPS primary, thank you, and loading is complete. So let's go ahead and check out the load sheet. Here it is, load sheet in compliance with edition number 2. So let's see what we got. 65.7, which is what we had planned as well, and a CG at 26.7. Alright, like that. Giving us a takeoff CG of 25.7 and takeoff weight 76.5 versus 76.5. Good enough, except that load sheet, 184 passengers plus 1 infant, 2 pilots, 5 cabin crews. Alright, that's all looking fantastic. Very good. So we can basically keep that takeoff data. Yep, that's all still valid. Alright, and then we got an up trim of 0.7. Like that. Beautiful. Alright, so everything is entered, so then let's go ahead and request our IFR clearance, and while we're doing that, we can then say hello to our passengers. So, ATC request, and we're looking for pre-departure clearance. We're at gate 525. ATIS ID is Juliet, Station Echo Golf, Lima Lima, and we can say good morning. Okay, Heathrow Rome, Speedbird 552 Foxtrot, A321, all looking good. Sent. Lovely. So while we're waiting for the clearance to arrive, let's go ahead and say hello to our passengers. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel, and in the name of British Airways, welcome aboard our Airbus A321 on our flight to Rome Fiumicino. Today we're expecting a flight time of approximately 2 hours with a smooth flight for our trip all the way down to the Mediterranean. Later on, maybe a little bit of turbulence. Thank you very much for being our passengers today. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. And if there is anything we can do for you to make it more comfortable, please do not hesitate to ask any of our charming cabin crew members. Thank you very much for your attention, and again, welcome aboard. Alright, refueling is complete. So all those things are on. External power can already go off, and then let's tell GSX to prepare the position for pushback and departure. And while we're waiting for the clearance, let's go ahead and do the departure briefing. Alright, so we're departing Heathrow's 27 left, max at 1 Golf departure, initial 6,000, and our MSA is 3,000 feet. Extra fuel and time, we've got 1.4 tons, giving us 42 minutes. Thank you for that. Our taxi has no hotspots today, and stop margin for the rejected takeoff is 507 meters. Now for our engine out, straight at 25 miles, climb at 3,000, and in case of any emergencies, we can make an immediate return to Heathrow. The runway is long enough, however we are overweight, so we do the overweight landing procedure as necessary. Generally, I do prefer just to go straight ahead into the holding or wherever ATC takes us, and an immediate return will only be done in case of any unextinguishable fire. Apart from that, I have nothing special, I have nothing non-standard, and I do not see any threats. Anything from your side? No? Alright, beautiful. So that's our departure briefing completed. And since we have not gotten any reply down here, I suggest we are just going to go ahead and grab that IFR clearance via voice. Okay, so, let me check which frequency it is. One to 1908. Heathrow delivery, Speedbird 552 Foxtrot, information Juliet, request IFR clearance to Rome Fiumicino. Okay, they're working on it.
Speedbird 552, Foxtrot, cleared to Fiumicino, via the max at 1 Golf departure. Departure, runway 27 left. Initial climb to flight level 060. Departure on 125.625 squawk 1611.
Speedbird 552 Foxtrot is clear to roam via max at 1 Golf, departure runway 27 left, climb flight level 60, departure 125.625, squawk 1611. Alright, 27 left, max at 1 Golf are confirmed, flight level 60 is
Speedbird
checked.
552 Foxtrot, read back correct. Ground will be on 121.905.
121.905, Speedbird 552 Foxtrot. Okay, and squawk 1611 is checked, 125.625. I am just going to pre-select that here.
Stand by.
And then let's already head over to ground. Alright, beautiful.
Speedbird 552 Foxtrot. Can you repeat that? Expect
Ladies and
runway
gentlemen,
27 left.
a warm welcome aboard British Airways Flight 2.
Yeah,
heading
whatever.
to the lovely city of Rome.
Okay, cockpit preparation
My name is
checklist.
Astrid
Gear bits and
Hansen,
covers,
and I am
removed.
your lead
Fuel
flight attendant
quantity
today, joined by my wonderful
is
colleague,
10,980 kilograms balanced.
Please
Seatbelts
take your
on,
seats according to your
ADRs,
boarding passes and stow your hand luggage in the overhead bins
nav,
or under
power
the
rev,
seats in front of you.
QNH
If you need
9905.
any
Cockpit
assistance,
preparation
do not
checklist
hesitate
complete.
to ask any member of our crew. We're here to help, and we promise to make your journey as pleasant as possible. Now,
Heathrow ground, Speedbird 552 Foxtrot, request pushback and startup.
Speedbird 552 Foxtrot. Pushback and startup approved. Face east.
Pushback and startup approved, face east, Speedbird 552 Foxtrot. Alright, before start checklist, park and brake, set, takeoff speeds and thrust, V1 150, VR 157, V2 157, flex 57, windows closed, and the bacon is tasty. Before start checklist complete. Ground from flight deck, pushback and startup approved, facing east, park and brake set. Roger, facing east, release park and brake. Park and brake released. Thank you, start on the pushback, stand by for engine start. Roger. Alright. And here we go, on our way. So we are behind the line, clear to start the engines, sequence 1 then 2. Engine 1 start. And while those are starting, let's quickly check those company messages. That's one of the nice things about the Airbus. You don't really have to monitor the engine start because it's all automatic. So that's still the PDC stuff, that's an old load sheet. And that's another old load sheet. Alright, that's all looking good. Lovely. So, pulling us forward a bit. Probably in order to keep the gate behind us clear, in case these gentlemen want to push as well over there.
Ground, Lufthansa 904, taxi to the gate.
Lufthansa 904. Taxi to parking via Alpha 9, Echo, Hotel, Bravo, Foxtrot, Bravo.
Okay, ground, we have a good start in engine number 1, we are starting engine number 2.
Bravo, Lufthansa
Clear to
904.
engine 2 start. And the pushback is completed, set your brakes please. Park and brake set.
Speedbird 53 Mike, request push and start.
So, number 2 is starting,
Speedbird 53
and
Mike. Cleared for push and start.
they are doing their job. Okay.
Pushback and start approved. Speedbird 53 Mike.
Alright, we do already have ignition, the engine is coming up, beautiful. Well, scheduled off block would have been 15, so we are almost on time here. For airline standards, we are on time. Okay, ground, we have 2 good engine starts, please prepare the airplane for taxi. I see you with a clear signal on the right hand side and have a good day, bye bye. And here we go. Okay, so trim 0.7,
Speedbird 53 Mike ready to taxi.
which is 25.7%. That's
Speedbird
looking
53,
good.
Mike. Runway 27 left taxi via Echo.
All right.
Link 36. Foxtrot.
So
Bravo. Link 28.
there's the ramp
November
agent,
1.
and she's holding a pin after start checklist. Anyways, off, econ status checked, pitch trim 25.7%, rudder trim neutral after start checklist complete. Speedbird 552 Foxtrot, request taxi.
Speedbird 552 Foxtrot. Runway 27 left. Taxi via Yankee Bravo. Link 28. November 1.
Taxi runway 27 left via Yankee Bravo, link 28, November 1, Speedbird 552 Foxtrot. Alright.
Virgin 8 Yankee. Taxi to parking.
So, the
Via
link
Alpha 9 Echo
is...
Hotel Bravo Foxtrot.
well, Yankee,
Alpha 9 Echo.
then
Hotel,
into
Foxtrot,
Bravo.
ready.
Yeah, Yankee is down here, into Bravo, and then all the way to the runway. Alright. Parking brake is off, let's go. Brake check. Pressure 0. Where is that tuck going down there? Go away.
Speedbird 814.
Hey,
lead
go
now,
away there.
Runway 27 left taxi via Yankee Bravo. Link 28. November
Yeah, no
1.
comment.
Runway 27 left.
Alright,
taxi
so
via
here's Yankee.
Bravo, link 28, November 1, Speedbird 814 Lima.
Speedbird 53. Mike, give way
And
to
then
the
we
Lufthansa
continue to the
320
left.
Neo on your left.
Give way to the Lufthansa 320 Neo, Speedbird 53 Mike.
And from there,
Speedbird
it's
7
basically
Yankee
to the
Tango,
full
ready to
length.
taxi.
Speedbird 7 Yankee Tango. Runway 27 left taxi via Alpha. Link 53. Bravo. Link 28. November 1.
Runway 27 left taxi via Alpha, link 53, Bravo, link 28,
Alright.
November 1, Speedbird 7 Yankee Tango.
So, now it's basically straight ahead.
Speedbird 313, taxi to the gate.
They didn't give us any points to hold short,
Speedbird
so
313,
I suppose
taxi
now it's
parking
just literally
via Alpha
a
9
long
Echo
straight line.
Hotel Bravo Foxtrot.
Okay, good.
Bravo,
So
Romeo.
I've got no changes to the takeoff briefing. Then let's start with a flight control check.
Bravo, Foxtrot, Bravo, Romeo, Speedbird 313.
Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Okay, looks like the cabin is ready already. Taxi checklist. Flight controls checked. Flap setting, config 2, radar predictive wind shear,
Speedbird
on
383,
and
ready to
auto,
push.
engine start selector, norm, ecam memo,
388,
takeoff,
push and
no
start
blue.
approved.
Taxi checklist complete.
Push and start approved. Speedbird 388.
Well then, since
Speedbird
this is
53,
going to
light contact
take a
tower
little
on
while now,
124,
let's go ahead
decimal
and fast forward a bit to the holding point. 124.48, speedbird 552 Foxtrot. Bye-bye. Alright, we made it to the holding point. Now, let's call tower 12448. And departure 125625. Is also pre-selected. Nice. So yeah, quite a bit of traffic over here. It actually took us quite a while to make it to the holding point. And we are not the only ones. So the lot is just departing over there, the 737 MAX, and the company 777. Ahead of us is lining up. Heathrow Tower, speedbird 552 Foxtrot, ready for departure.
Speedbird 552, Foxtrot, Heathrow Tower, runway 27 left, hold short, 777 on the runway.
Holding short 27 left, speedbird 552 Foxtrot. Alright, so nothing has changed for our departure. We do need the wake turbulence separation from the 777, which is departing now, so let's start the timer down here. 2 minutes are what is needed for us. Alright, and then we can just hold short of 27 left over here. Okay, good. So the obvious threat that we are getting for this departure here is possible wake turbulence encounter. Now, how are you going to counter that? Well, we'll just do things easy. If we're getting anywhere close to the storm, toga, pitch 17.5, get away from that runway, and anything else. I do believe the 777 is going to depart so late, or is going to lift off so late along the runway, that we don't really have to be worried about anything in our flight path. So there goes the 777.
Speedbird 552, Foxtrot, runway 27 left, winds 160 at 3, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 27 left, cleared for takeoff, speedbird 552 Foxtrot. Cabin crew, prepare for departure. You can see I'm doing things pretty slowly here, since we do need another 30 seconds for wake turbulence separation anyway.
Ground United 948.
Yeah, that's the wrong button. Right, lineup checklist. Takeoff runway, 27 left full length, TCAS, Tara, and PAX 1 and 2 off. Lineup checklist complete. Alright, we're approaching the 2 minutes for wake turbulence separation, that is fine. Approach area is clear, then I'm ready to go. So, you ready too? Then we'll just do the lineup here. Takeoff.
On runway 27 left.
That's intentional. Manflex 57 SRS runway auto thrust blue. Thrust set. knots, checked. V1, rotate.
Heathrow Tower, United 924, established on the ILS, runway 27 right.
Positive climb.
United
You're up.
924, roger.
Nav, checked.
Air France 9 and 2 Kilo Juliet, hold short of runway 27 left.
Holding short of runway 27 left, Air France 9 and 2 Kilo Juliet.
Speedbird 552, Foxtrot, contact departure on 125.625.
125.625, Speedbird 552 Foxtrot. Thrust climb,
Airfront 9 and 2 Kilo Juliet, cross runway 27 left.
Speed checked, flaps 1.
Cross runway 27 left, Air France 9 or 2 Kilo Juliet.
Okay, temperature is 8 degrees, engine anti-ice on. Flap 0. Speed checked, flap 0. Heathrow departure, Speedbird 552 Foxtrot, passing 3,200, climbing 6,000.
Speedbird 552, Foxtrot, Heathrow radar, identified. Climb flight, level 060 directly to 23 Hotel.
Maintaining level 60, Speedbird 552 Foxtrot. Okay, pull vertical speed, 2,000. And 1,000 please. Speed vertical speed.
Speedbird 552, Foxtrot, climb flight level 220.
Climbing now, flight level 220, Speedbird 552 Foxtrot. Thrust climb, open climb, 22,000 blue. Alright. Autopilot 1. Set standard.
Speedbird 552, Foxtrot, contact London Control on 134.25.
124.25, Speedbird 552 Foxtrot. London Control, Speedbird 552 Foxtrot, passing level 75, climbing level 220. Right, standard cross check, passing flight level 78 now. Checked.
Speedbird 552, Foxtrot, Nantes, departure, identified. Good morning.
Speedbird 552 Foxtrot, any chance to proceed direct to Benbow?
Speedbird 552, Foxtrot, affirmative, proceed direct, Bamboo.
Thank you, direct Benbow, Speedbird 552 Foxtrot. Alright, Benbow on top, and here we go. Alright, I like it. Things...
Speedbird 552, Foxtrot, proceed direct, Bamboo, approved.
Yeah, you said that already. Good, then we're back in climb, and we're passing level 100, so... Lights off, we'll keep the anti-ice on because we are going right back into the clouds over there. Seatbelts will remain on until we clear that as well. Then we can switch to airport and clear and copy, please.
Thank you.
So, cruising 350, optimum 350, maximum 371, that's all looking good. Now the important question, arriving at 11:47, and the schedule is 11:50. Alright, since we are probably going to shove off a little bit of time from the approach transition as well, I am not at all worried about being on time. We will be there right on time. Okay, excellent. Well, in that case, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us, and then I'll get back to you when we start the approach into our destination airport. Hello everyone! So we are on the descent into Rome Fiumicino right now, and following the Club arrival for an ILS approach runway 16 left.
52 Foxtrot, contact Rome approach on
125.5. 125.5, speedbird 552 Foxtrot. Alright, excellent. Let's call approach and see what they gotta say. Rome approach, speedbird 552 Foxtrot, flight level 173, descending 4000. Okay, beautiful. The fasten seatbelt sign can already come on, and now let's have a look into the weather.
552 Foxtrot, Rome approach identified. Good afternoon, cleared SOVOC transition. Expect the ILS Whiskey runway 16 left approach into Fiumicino.
Expecting the ILS Whiskey 16 left via SUVOC, speedbird 552 Foxtrot. Okay, excellent. So the latest weather is now wind 240 at 22, 14 degrees, QNH 904, and that is almost a direct crosswind here of 22 knots, making this one quite an interesting one. Unfortunately, all the gusts and stuff are gone, but I'm sure that this is still going to lead to a fantastic arrival.
Descend altitude 3,000 feet.
Descending altitude 3,000 feet, speedbird 552 Foxtrot. Alright, perfect. So we are already cleared down to 3000. I am going to expedite that descent a bit over here because I am rather sure we will get a shortcut eventually. Now let's go ahead and talk about the approach. So we will be flying the ILS approach runway 16 left. It's a fairly straightforward one.
I can sequence you in better this way. Turn left heading 135 vectors for the ILS runway 16 left approach.
Left heading 135, vectors ILS 16 left, speedbird 552 Foxtrot. Okay, no, don't start accelerating, please. Keep that present speed. Here we go, 250. Alrighty, so vectors for the ILS, let's see. Let's just put SUVOC on top down here in order to sequence that FMS. So, SUVOC for now, but you maintain the heading, please. Okay, and that puts us like, what, 3,000 feet high? Yeah, that's fine. And here comes the speed brake. Okay, good. So, let's go ahead and do the approach briefing, please. So, radar vector ILS Whiskey approach runway 16 left. MSA up to 6,000 feet, and the minimum is 290 feet. The go-around is a left turnout, climbing initially 2,000, later 4,000, and extra fuel and time is 2 tons, and that is giving us 1 hour of extra fuel. We would absolutely not have needed that with these weather conditions, but you never know, so yeah, well, it just turned out a lot nicer than what we originally anticipated.
552 Foxtrot, turn left heading 110.
Left heading 110, speedbird 552 Foxtrot. Okay, heading 110. Alright then, let's go ahead and have a look. We are going to fly the approach in config full, flight director guided, with idle reverse to vacate the runway to the right hand side using auto brake low. The stop margin is about 1,000 meters, and we've got no hotspots for our taxi in. For the go around, everything is standard, and I've got nothing special and nothing non-standard for this approach. Anything from your side? No? Threats? No? Alright. So that's a briefing completed. So 2 degrees, engine anti-ice on. So light, signs, EFIS, and we got GPS primer with high accuracy, mode selector, norm.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now beginning our final approach into Rome. Please ensure that all electronic devices are turned off and stowed away until we arrive at the gate. Kindly put your tray tables away and return your seats to their full upright position. Make sure your
Italia
seatbelts
61
are fastened.
contact Fiumicino Tower on 127.625.
14 degrees Celsius with scattered clouds.
127.625 for
Our
Italia
assigned
61.
gate is Satellite Terminal 701. Thank you for your cooperation.
Alright, approach checklist please. Barrow ref. QNH 904, seatbelts on, minimum, Barrow 290, auto brake, low, engine start selector, norm, approach checklist complete. Alright, here we are, picking up the profile again. Speed brakes are going back in. So, a little bit of turbulence, unsurprisingly, with those winds, since we are going over the hills over here.
Speedbird 552 Foxtrot, 14 miles from Oxaru. Turn right heading 115, descend altitude 2500 feet until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 16 left approach.
Right heading 115, descend 2500 feet, cleared ILS 16 left, Speedbird 552 Foxtrot. Okay. So, some lovely bits of weather over here, and then we are on the heading 115, cleared for the approach. And that's all looking good. So, Cat 3 dual, autopilot 1 and 2, glide slope and localizer blue. So, let's see, Subak would have been above 4,000, Maven 3,000, and, well then, I'm going to continue the descent to Maven. And then activate the approach phase. In the meantime, managed. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. There we go. Alright. So, looks like that wind is definitely still alive. Making our life easier. Manual flight. Cat 1. Checked. Alright, activate approach phase, please.
Altimeter 7.
And that is active. Alright, manage speed.
Altimeter 7.
No, the altimeter setting is right, 90904. Alright, in that case I'm just going to shut RAS down. RAS fail, yep, intentionally. So, lock star.
Speedbird 552 Foxtrot, contact Fium Tower on 127.625 when established.
127.625, Speedbird 552 Foxtrot. Flaps 1, speed checked, flaps 1, lock. So 127.625. Fiumicino, Speedbird 552 Foxtrot, established ILS 16 left. Alright, flaps 2. Speed check, flaps 2, and set speed 170.
Speedbird 552 Foxtrot, Fium Tower identified.
Yeah, that's not Italian. They need to be called Fiumicino, with that E at the end. It's got nothing to do with fumes. Alright, engine anti-ice off. So, nice bit of crosswind here. 27 knots right now. It is going to become 22, so a little bit less, that's fine. Well then, glide slope is alive. We will maintain those 170 knots for the time being. Glide slope star.
Speedbird 552 Foxtrot, winds 230 at 20, runway 16 left, cleared to land.
Runway 16 left, clear to land, Speedbird 552 Foxtrot. Go around altitude 4000 set. Glide slope. So, we will fly this according Airbus standard operating procedures. So, down towards 2000 above the field, and then gear down, and so on. Alright, gear down. And manage speed. So flaps 3. Speed checked, flaps 3. Flaps full. Speed checked, flaps full. Landing checklist. Econ memo, landing no blue. Landing checklist complete. Wind check.
Speedbird 552 Foxtrot, winds 230 at 20.
Okay, so the winds are going to turn a little bit and lose a bit in strength. So we're nice and stable in 1,000 feet.
1,000.
Checked. Runway is not in sight just yet, but it'll come. Alright, the wind is turning. Speed is checked, correcting. The challenge is not to overcorrect right now. Alright, the winds are going to turn another couple degrees. But apart from that, we are nicely established. Land.
100 above.
Checked. So a little bit of gusts here.
Minimum.
Continue. Yeah, that's how it's fun. I like that weather.
30. 30. 20. Retard. 10.
Alright, speed breakup. Thrust was... well, spoilers, reverse green. Airbus. Manual brakes. I do need quite a bit of rudder control it here, look at that. So, 1 hour and 57 minutes.
Speedbird 552 Foxtrot, welcome to Fiumicino. Contact ground on 122.125.
122.125, Speedbird 552 Foxtrot. I love it when the FO pre-selects it. Fiumicino ground, Speedbird 552 Foxtrot, request taxi to the gate.
Speedbird 552 Foxtrot, taxi to satellite terminal gate 701 via Delta Hotel, Sierra Mike, Zulu, Victor. Good day.
Stand 701 via Delta Hotel, Sierra Mike, Zulu, Victor, Speedbird 552 Foxtrot. Good day.
Rome is home to the world's first shopping mall. It's called Trajan's Market, and it dates back to the 2nd century. Thank you for flying with British Airways. Please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened until we reach our final parking position. Captain Emmanuel and the entire crew would like to say goodbye to you now. The local time here in Rome is 10:20. We hope you enjoy your time in this beautiful city.
Alright, so let's get that thing back to the center line here. It's much easier when you got a second pilot in the real world, I can tell you that much. Okay, so we'll just keep going over here. Man, looks like we will definitely get a departure slot on the way back.
American 235 ready to taxi.
American 235, runway 25 taxi via Sierra Hotel Romeo Bravo Bravo Alpha.
Runway 25 taxi via Sierra Hotel Romeo Bravo Bravo Alpha, American 235.
Okay, so let's have a look at our continued taxi routing here. So we're on Delta, we go on a hotel. And then, let's see, all the way hotel, Sierra, Mike, and Zulu Victor down here. Okay, so basically all the way around from Delta in a hotel, Sierra, Mike, Zulu, Victor. Alright, we can do that. So that is a little bit of a taxi route here, but nonetheless should be rather easy to do. I like how the airplane maintains 25 knots with the engines in idle, so I'm not going to do single engine taxi here. Alright, so that was an interesting landing. A little bit of turbulence and gusts on the approach. And in case you're wondering why we got some gusts there, that's basically, even though the wind was reported steady, if you have realistic turbulence on, what is happening is that the wind is going over all the features on the ground, like the trees and everything, and that eventually turns it into gusty winds, even though steady winds are reported. Remember, the anemometer that measures the wind is located more or less on a plain field next to the runway, and therefore gives you rather different readings than what you're actually experiencing on the approach itself.
Over to tower Delta 113.
Okay, so we're getting over here, straight ahead into hotel. That's got to be that one where the opposite traffic is coming. Yeah, hotel straight. So where is that? Is that an American? I think it is. Yep, here is hotel. And the American is turning away. Yeah, it is. Alright, apart from that, it surely was an interesting landing. And you can definitely see why I went for a flaps full landing there, with a pitch going up to about 7 degrees on the flare. Remember, A321, so always a little prone to tail strike. Alright, the American 787 is gone. So that was an interesting one for sure. Now, apart from that, I would say standard approach. I did like the vectoring by Say Intentions over here, should really say that. And yeah, apart from that, the taxi, well, around the airport, that stuff happens. Alright, so we continue on hotel, then Sierra, Mike, Zulu, Victor. Alright, so Sierra is next left. So down to 10 knots, please. Like that. And then the next to the right, which is down here, Mike. Left side is clear, and the right side is also clear. So we're parking over here on the other side of that terminal. I gotta say, I like this little tour of the airport, because MK Studios just did a fantastic job with the ground polygon over here. It's just looking excellent, isn't it? So, look like we're going on the international terminal. Well, I suppose since Brexit that is kinda correct. And even prior to Brexit, the Brits were never part of the Schengen area, so... Alright, Zulu coming up to the left. It's that one. Okay, and then next to the left, and then we are at stand 701 already. Let's go ahead and tell GSX to prepare the position.
Hotel, runway 25 taxi via November Hotel, Hotel November Golf.
So,
November
satellite
Bravo,
701, no follow me needed, handling by Avia Partner.
Via November Hotel, Hotel November Golf. November Bravo, Bravo Alpha, Ryanair 81 Charlie Hotel.
So, let's already open the flap. And then Victor is going to be next left. Clear everywhere. Alright, 701 got to be that one at the end over there. Yeah, down here, 701. Cool, start the APU. If you just start the APU master first, it already opens the inlet flap, which is going to accelerate the APU start process later. You can see now it's already running up, while if I had done it the other way around, it would have taken quite a bit longer. That's how you can kind of optimize that APU start a little bit. Okay, so 701, here we are. The white line is made for the white bodies down here. Alright. So, A321 is on the guidance. And finally we get a guidance in meters again, not in feet. And stop. Nice. So, parking brake is set, APU is available, and APU bleed on, shutdown. 1, 2. Oh, looks like the right FMS went offline. Here it is again. Okay. Cutting through all doors in park. So, deboard please, and please connect the jetway. So, the engines are running down, both are below 20. Bacon is off, waiting for the doors to disarm.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now arrived
And here
at
we
Rome,
go.
Fiumicino. Captain Emmanuel and the whole crew would like to wish you a wonderful stay here, a beautiful vacation, and safe
Cool,
travels
ground
to
power
your
is available, then we
destination.
can shut the
Thank you
APU
for
down
flying
and parking
British
checklist
Airways.
please.
We hope to
Parking
see
brake
you
up
again
trucks,
soon.
brake
Goodbye.
set, engines off, wing light off, fuel pumps off, parking checklist complete. Well my friends, and with that, welcome to Rome Fiumicino. I hope you liked this one. As always, leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video, like, comment and subscribe, and if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. If you liked this recent flight with the Fenix Airbus, then be sure to put it in the comments below if you want to see it featured again more often. Thank you very much for your attention and thanks for watching, and with that I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.